If we tried to walk this journey alone, we would be having a lot of polite conversations in the margins and on verandas about what could be and what might be. But if we summon the energy and the political will, as you heard from President Bayo, to recognize that in partnership we can achieve so much. Europe has made its claim very clear. And President von der Leyen called for reliable partners to be able to attain this objective. You have heard that capacity and financing continue to bedevil us. And Europe has perfected the art of using guarantees to unlock additional capital. But the point is this, that in the Caribbean community alone, we have $6 billion US, and it may sound small to those of you who are accustomed to large countries, but for us, it is appreciable. But we have $6 billion US alone in domestic excess liquidity, attracting from 0.01% to, in most instances, with the exception of one country, below 5% in interest rates. And we know from our own debt for climate swap, supported ably by the Inter-American Development Bank and more specifically by the European Investment Bank on the particular issue of guarantees, and then of course the Green Climate Fund that has remained the only major credible source for many of us in the global south. It is the guarantee given by the European Investment Bank that unlocked that debt for climate swap for us, that allows us, without increasing a cent in our debt, to be able to completely rebuild a South Coast sewage treatment plant and to carry for the first time it to tertiary level, treating water that is to go back into the aquifers, to replenish the aquifers, and to provide irrigation for farmers in the east of our own country. The beautiful thing about the game of cricket is that you learn early that you have to play on the pitch as it is, not as you would like it. And Barbados has perhaps produced more global cricketers of excellence per capita than any other part of the world. I apologize to my brothers in Grenada and Trinidad and elsewhere, even in India. But in learning that, it learns that we play on the wicket as it is, not as you would like it. And you don't spend time or energy crying over what could have been, but we deal with the world as it is on the 12th of March, 2025. I therefore ask us to use this opportunity to make the partnerships, to perfect the networks that will help us unlock the financing that is critical. I also ask us to recognize that as small states or as developing states, mimicry does not get us very far. If we try to establish regulatory structures that are known to the North Atlantic world, whose systems of development and whose institutions are completely different, we find ourselves, as my own country has done regrettably in the last 3.5 years, caught up in regulatory arbitrage that has done nothing other than to lock off and block off over $500 million of investment in renewable energy that is waiting and exploding to be put into action. And I share this with you because I'm sure that if we can learn from each other and do not have to repeat the mistakes of each other, we will get much further ahead. The reality is that most of our markets are way too small to command the attention of even commercial providers, far less to be talking about the things that are necessary to distort competition or to avoid corruption. And what we lose is time, and what we lose is the benefit of curtailing and increasing temperature globally. What we lose is an inability to build the resilience that we need. Our own energy transition investment plan contemplates that Barbados will reach net zero by 2035. We are committed to that goal. But we equally recognize, and we've had to go to Parliament twice to change legislation to start to streamline what would otherwise be complex processes that have already delayed us 3.5 years. So long as we can satisfy ourselves of the public purpose and be aware of the public mischief, we then have to find new ways that are appropriate to size and institutional maturity to be able to help us advance the execution of these targets that we have set ourselves. And I believe that if we can create, as I said, the international platform that can de-risk investments, that will allow for South-South cooperation, that will allow for the creation of guarantees so that we can better access domestic savings, so that they too can be part and parcel of the community that benefits from the rewards that would otherwise be available only to established capital, that we can create a win-win through shared partnerships.